3 बार ओम, फिर गायत्री का पाठ। भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। तूने हमें उत्पन्न किया, पालन कर रहा है तू, तुझसे ही पाते प्राण हम, दुखियों के कष्ट हरता है तू, तेरा महान तेज है, छाया हुआ सभी स्थान, सृष्टि की वस्तु वस्तु में तू हो रहा है विद्यमान, तेरा ही धरते ध्यान हम, मांगते तेरी दया, ईश्वर हमारी बुद्धि को श्रेष्ठ मार्ग पर चला, दाता हमारी बुद्धि को श्रेष्ठ मार्ग पर चला। ओम शांति शांति शांति। So Acharya Ji was discussing the Vedic principle of Arya Samaj number 4 last week, and all of you, many of you were there with your questions. So I hope this week again you are well prepared with your questions when Acharya Ji will be discussing the principle number 5 today. Is it fine? So please note down your questions, and afterward you will get a chance to ask your question, to raise your question. Isn't it good? Yes. Thank you. So Acharya Ji, please continue.
We are discussing the 10 principles of Arya Samaj. And let me show you the slide I have prepared for this discussion. Yeah, here it is. So I want to slightly review. I want to review what we have discussed in the last few weeks. You know, the principle 1 and principle 2 was about Ishwar. Just like for a child, Mother and father are very important. So as we are growing, we are gaining an awareness that there is a supreme mother and father. So that is what is Ishwar. And just like every child spends some intimate moments with his or her mother and father, that is what we would also like to do with Ishwar, and that is called as Upasana. Hmm? So as a human being, we are basically interested in knowledge. That is what we learn from school and Sanskriti school. And we do all kinds of actions. And the third thing is Upasana. So you see these three letters that are highlighted in English in red color. So these are our three main functions: knowledge, action, and Upasana. So that is what we have covered in the first five principles of Arya Samaj. Fifth one will be covered today. So let's see. First and second principle mentioned about Ishwar, with whom we would like to be with, and that is what we attempt when we do meditation. Then third principle was about knowledge, that that same Ishwar has given us some knowledge to start with. You know? That's how the human generations started rolling their life from the very first generation. And those words were called as Vedas. So the Vedas are the books of all true knowledge. So that is how Ishwar transmits, so to say, knowledge so that we get going. That is a formal knowledge in terms of a book of knowledge. But that is not the whole thing. He is within us also. So all of us can listen to Ishwar when there is an inner voice, is it not? So the inner voice is always there, and that is always guiding us on the path of the truth. And the fourth principle mentioned that suppose I don't have access to the Vedas, still I can get to know what the truth is, and that is what I should be practicing in my day-to-day life. So the knowledge has two principles, 3 and 4, emphasizing that truth should be the focus of all. So today's fifth principle is now about our actions. So we are being told all our acts ought to be performed in conformity with Dharma. What is Dharma? Is righteousness and duty. And then if I don't know Dharma, then we are being told, after due consideration of the truth and the untruth. So, so the word truth is coming twice. True knowledge, and also when I have to do the action, it should be based on the dharma. And if I don't know what dharma is, then it is very simple. I should know what are the truthful actions, is it not? So you will see that the word truth or true is coming both in the context of knowledge as well as in the context of action, is it not? And that is what we discussed slightly last week. If I am truthful, I will not steal anybody's money. If I am truthful, I will not hurt anybody, and so on and so forth. But today we are specifically on principle number 5, which is saying that all our actions should be in conformity or in accordance with dharma. So dharma is a new term today we are facing, and dharma is what? What is really my duty? What is the right thing for me to do? And something which everybody will accept that yes, this is a good thing I did. So if I have a doubt, then I should consult my own mind and ask myself, what is truthful action at this point of time? And if I am following the path of the truth, that is the path of the dharma. So when we used to meet our in our Sanskriti school, we used to, ask our questions like, what is the, so, let's see. I have another slide to show you. Yeah. So, dharma is very simple basically. It is righteousness, or what is my duty at this point.
आचार्य जी सॉरी टू इंटरप्ट आपका थोड़ा ऑडियो में थोड़ी सी डिस्टरबेंस आ रही है आप एक बार मीटिंग छोड़ के दोबारा आप ज्वाइन करेंगे शायद ठीक हो जाएगा
ओके सो आई एम लीविंग द मीटिंग
हाँ जी
Is it okay with this time? Let's find out. So I was showing you the slide there.
अभी भी थोड़ा सा है I don't know what is the problem but still better than last time
Or should I put my speaker at lower volume so that it doesn't interfere with the. Okay, let's see. Does it make it better now? I have switched off my speaker.
it's better than last time आचार्य जी so start करते हैं
There's less interference.
हाँ जी
Okay, let me show that slide again. Okay, so we were discussing the Dharma, and as I said, Dharma is very simple. What is right thing to do, which will be universally found acceptable, universally acclaimed, or is found good by all. So such things are very simple. These are based on truth, right conduct, love, peace, and so on and so forth. So we can see all this. If we are engaged in such nice things, everybody will appreciate it, isn't it? There is nothing wrong in it. And that's what Dharma is all about. Dharma is not necessarily, that I have to read big books to know what my Dharma is. It comes from within. It comes from my heart. Something tells me within as if I am doing something right. And if something I intend to do wrong, there is always an inner voice that is warning me. And then I should listen to it. And I should follow that warning, is it not? So that is what dharma is. It's very simple. Do the right thing at the right time, is it not? But still, if there is somebody has a doubt, then you consult others. Is it right thing? Others will also say right is right. So then you get going. It's very simple basically. But still, in our discussion in the past, we have had this. Yeah, we have discussed this thing. Sometimes somebody says, is satya is important or ahimsa? What is called truth and not to hurt. Ahimsa is also translated by many as non-violence, but I am translating here as not to hurt. So, we are on dharma, and Arya Samaj fifth principle is saying what is dharma is righteousness, and also it is saying to follow the path of the truth. Now somebody says, why not follow the path of ahimsa? Is it not? So why is Arya Samaj principle saying follow the path of truth? So truth and ahimsa, truth and not to hurt, are they, what is superior? Is one of them enough or not? So we are looking at from that point of view. So I have placed here two metaphors here, very simple. One is coming from Manu, nahi satyat paro dharma. What it means is there is no dharma beyond truth. So one who follows this, and Arya Samaj principle number 5 is also following this statement that if we follow truth, we are on the path of dharma. So this person who is advocate of Satya, he says, he puts an story. Suppose we have our soldiers who are positioned in our borders. Don't we give them an order? Our commander-in-chief gives him an order. If there is an enemy forces, you shoot him, kill him. Then this person who is advocating Satya, he asks you, would you not kill the enemy soldier? And if you kill an enemy soldier, is it hinsa? It looks like hinsa, is it not? Killing somebody. But then the person, is in a dilemma. So one who is on the side of ahimsa, he begins to wonder, how should I answer this? Then he puts a counter metaphor, and that counter metaphor is coming from the ahimsa side. For example, Patanjali is another author who says ahimsa should take precedence over satya. Now somebody is saying satya is more important. Somebody is saying ahimsa is more important. So look at this person who is advocate of ahimsa. He puts another metaphor to you that you see a cow running, then some moments later one person comes with a big sword and he is unable to see the cow because the cow took a left turn at an intersection. And you were witness, you know where the cow went. So that person with a sword is asking you, where did the cow go? Now you are facing a dilemma. If you give him a truthful answer, then this person is going to catch hold of the cow, innocent cow, and kill it. And if you want to save the cow, then you have to tell a lie. You have to give a untrue statement. So you are in a dilemma, is it not? So here the person advocating ahimsa, he will say, look, you have given up truth to save the cow. That means ahimsa is more important. And here this person, the first person who is an advocate of satya, he says to you, look, you give a command to your soldier to shoot and kill the enemy. That means for you, the Satya is more important. The sanctity of your border is more important than the life of another enemy soldier. So, these are conflicting scenarios where we are in a dilemma whether to follow the path of Satya or follow the path of Ahimsa. But actually, it is both are correct, and one has to follow either of them. You are always on the path of dharma. For example, here even the ahimsa person can say, look, if the enemy soldiers enter into our country, then they will cause a lot of pain and hurt to our population. Is it not? So we have to stop that. So ahimsa person will also accept it. Yes, enemy soldiers should be killed because they are advancing unprovoked. They have no business to enter into our borders. Here also, the Satya, who is advocate of Satya, he can say that, yes, it is very truthful for me to save the innocent cow's life. why should she be killed? She has done no harm to anybody. So it is very much on the path of the truth that I will misdirect that human being with sword. You know, so it is within the path of truthfulness that I will speak a lie. I will misdirect him to another direction. Is it not? Because he thinks that cow has a right to live. That also is a supreme truth, is it not? So, truth and ahimsa go hand in hand. So, satya and ahimsa are not two separate things. So to say, they are two sides of the same coin, is it not? So, Arya Samaj principle number 5 seems to give importance to truth, you know, but it is not at the cost of ahimsa. Patanjali gives importance to ahimsa, but not at the cost of truth. Both are saying the same thing. So, in principle number 5, we are asked to follow the path of Dharma, and then there is a kind of clarification. Dharma is nothing but the path of truth, the Satya, and then we have seen in this discussion, in this particular slide, Satya and Ahimsa are all the same, are two sides of the same coin, is it not? So it's not that we are violating one to when we follow the path of another. Both are the same. So let's discuss a few more things related to dharma. Because when we use the term dharma, there is a slight misconception about another term that is very often used in the community, that is called religion, is it not? So this slide has a title, Dharma and religion, are they the same or they are different things? Because if you go to India, you will hear the term dharma is used synonym as religion in Hindi. But you know, the catch here is Indian languages have no term for religion actually. Sometimes in Hindi, I personally use the term majhab. Majhab is a Urdu word, but in Hindi we have picked up some Urdu words because in Hindi actually we don't have word for religion. So I use majhab. But otherwise, other people have used terms like pantha and matmatanta and sampradaya. These may be some new terms for you, but I want to tell you, there is no term for religion in our language, even in Sanskrit, which is such a rich language with billions of words. Because India did not have this concept where religion are multiple, because there are too many religions, it means there is some idea in religion A which is not universally accepted, and religion B and C don't accept that. So in Dharma, we don't have such a concept. Dharma is always universal acceptance. Satya, Ahimsa, all these are universally accepted terms, is it not? So in India, the classical India, 5,000 years ago and before then, for millions of years, we had only Dharma. There were no religions. You know it. All these religions are in the last 2,000 years, or at most 4,500 years. And similarly, this is very interesting. The Western languages have no term for Dharma. So you have to understand the concept of dharma very well so that when you grow up, you can talk to your friends in college, universities in properly. Dharma is not religion, and that is what I am showing. This is my last slide today. Dharma is misunderstood as religion. You know, religions are multiple. Like in Christianity, they are very good ideas, love and compassion, everything is hope, everything is very good, but they have certain ideas like Jesus Christ had a mother but no father, no human father. This is another religion, Islam, where they don't ask, they don't believe in idol worship, but they themselves give a lot of value to a particular black stone in Makkah. And there is There are some Hindus who feel they believe in law of karma, but then some of them feel if we take bath in Ganga, our sins are washed away. Is it not? Now these are the concepts which will never be accepted universally. Is it not? So they become narrow ideas just in a religion. But we want to follow what is universally accepted principles, and that is a dharma. So dharma is basically one. I will say the humanism or the mano dharma or the whole human dharma. And we in Sanskrit school want to learn what are those our characteristics. That is what is our culture. That is our Vedic Sanskriti. And that is what we want to adopt in our day-to-day life. We don't want to adopt certain things that are acceptable only in a narrow branch of humanity. We want ideas that are universally acceptable, which we can convince others. But before that, you must be convinced about that, is it not? That's why we encourage a lot of ask questions so as to convince yourself, yes, this idea is universally acceptable. That's what is science today. Science is as universal acceptance. So we have discussed today the fifth principle of Arya Samaj, and I want to take you back to this slide because there are 10 principles of Arya Samaj. And you will see, first five principles are trying to tell me as an individual, what should I be like? I should be a good human being as a child of Ishwar and spending some intimate moments with him in upasana and deep in meditation. I gain knowledge from the world. I am very open minded. I take up anything that is truthful, and my actions are also based on truth as well as satya as well as ahimsa. So these five principles ensure every human being is a very good human being, is it not? That is called an Arya person. An Arya person is a noble person who has adopted first five principles in his life. And then the sixth principle brings a transition, is it not? So this is now talking about Arya Samaj. Samaj is a community, is an assembly, multiple people. So now what does he mean? Maharishi Dayanand is saying, if you have accepted these first five principles, then you are a noble person and you mix up with many other noble people, like minded people, and then you form a community, a society called Arya Samaj. So, from sixth principle onward, this is now not an individual person. This is a group of people. Like Sanskriti school is a community of number of people, is it not? So, first five principles are to ensure a good human being, and later on, how these good human beings come together. And then in I Samaj has a Sanskriti school, I Samaj Houston is running a Sanskriti school. So, all this, what we do as an organization, that is aspect will be covered from next week onwards, is it not? So, first five principles are for an individual. Later five principles are how these good individuals should come together, how should they interact among themselves with love and compassion, etc. And they should do good to others. So this is all we